Well, good day to you, sir. I'd like to make a response to your video. First, you say the conservative movement with poor people, you don't know how it benefits them. As we have seen in the Ronald Reagan years, we have seen that the poor do get benefited by lower taxes and by cutting government spending. So if we do that, then we create more jobs in the economy. In turn, that can benefit more poor people, and in turn, employers can pay more. The government doesn't create jobs, they create more work. And it seems that only employers create jobs. So what we're hearing from President Obama back during his campaign was empty rhetoric. Second, you say that Sean Hannity and Rush, by getting the middle class people and poor people involved in the conservative movement, like we're taking advantage of them. The problem with that is that we see Obama did this, we see FDR did this, we saw Stalin do this, and we saw Hitler do this. I bet you don't know that Hitler won 98% of the popular vote back in Germany. He didn't seize power. He was elected. So, with 98% of the vote from a country that was suffering economically. And then we saw what happened to Germany after Hitler was elected. We entered a war. A terrible war that killed millions upon millions of Jews. Alright, you also make points about redistribution of wealth and reparations. As we have seen throughout time, the more that we redistribute wealth, the less incentive it makes to work. If I can go out and I don't have the incentive to go to work, if I'm not going to be paid the full amount for me going to work, I'm not going to want to go to work. So, with redistribution of wealth, it makes absolutely no sense, because it takes away incentive to work. Whereas I look at a guy like the owner of the local pet stores around here. His name is Gregory Keene. He worked very hard to get to the position that he's in today. So it makes me want to work even harder, because maybe one day, if I work hard enough, and if I do business good, maybe one day I could start my own business. You know, with hard work and saving a bunch of money. Anyway, moving on. You say that you make points about reparations as well, about how black people were oppressed back during the time of slavery. Well, I like to say that is true. It's not a good thing to admit, but it did happen. Now, you have to also remember that the Founding Fathers were also oppressed by a tyrannical militia in England. They were very much so oppressed with the high tax and several other things that would try to conquer them. Many of the people who came were also poor to America. They just came for a different opportunity away from big government, which is what you are actually suggesting. You are suggesting the thing that caused many people to stand up and say no. And it seems absolutely ridiculous that we'd want to add even more of that when that big government is what makes the people even more poor. You know, there was a joke I heard once, and it seems to be so fitting, that liberals really do like poor people. They like them so much that they keep on making more of them. And you mentioned a part about the rich being richer and the poor being poorer. Well, that is true. It's actually in the Bible, what Jesus said, that the rich will become richer and the poor will become poorer. It's just like a kind of a fact of the universe. But I'd like to propose that rich and poor is not a it's a state of mind. To be poor is a state of mind. It simply means that you lay down and die. You're like, oh, I'm going to have a big 30-year mortgage. I'm going to have a car loan. I'm going to do all these things. I have a friend who went out and bought a car the other day. He paid in cash, no loan. But it's not a nice car, but it's a car. It goes, it functions, and he paid in cash. Why? Because car loans are stupid. And we hear these politicians in Washington, oh, well, you need to get a car loan for this and such. I heard Obama mentioning that in several of his speeches, Joe Biden, and all those other guys. Second, and finally, you make a point about Rush Limbaugh making $30 million a year and Sean making $5 million. Well, how much does Barbara Walters make per year? How much does Alan Colmes make per year? How much do all these liberal commentators make per year? The reason Rush and Sean make so much is because they are high octane and they're good at what they do. So, I hope this video isn't offensive to people or anything. I just thought I'd make my point.